Hey, how's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Dirty Hour back for the season 3 finale of the 4K Club. Yeah, go ahead and introduce yourself, Dirty.
Hey, what's going on, people? It's your boy Dirty, man. Hey, we're back. So I hope you guys enjoy.
Yeah, and today's edition is we're gonna finish up our movie anniversaries. We're gonna go finish up with 2001 and 2006, then 2011 and 2016. So before we get on all that, if you have any pickups, Dirty, hey, go show them off.
I got a few pickups here. The first one I picked up. They released this. I got the name of the company that re-released this, but they did Menace to Society.
Oh
Um,
yes, I saw that on
yeah,
on the Blu-ray site last night. I was like, dang, you
yeah.
know that's a must-have.
I think they are called the Criterion. I think that's the name of the company that
Yeah,
re-released this.
yeah,
And
the Criterion Collection.
yeah, and this is the 4K version. So I was like, oh man, cool, be able to pick that up. But I haven't checked it out to to really see how good it is. But I done heard some good things about it. So eventually I get. I love Menace to Society. It was a good movie.
Cool beans, cool
Uh,
beans.
Next one, I picked this up off Amazon doing Cyber
Cyber
and
Monday,
yeah, the Ghost in the Shell animated. So I
sweet.
never owned this on DVD or Blu-ray. So I was like, hey, you know what? Let me pick this up on the 4K. I think it was 9.99.
Shoot, that's a steal.
Yeah, I just hate it didn't come with the slip cover. The next one movie I enjoy watching at the theaters I knew nothing about was Shang-Chi, The
Hmm.
Legend of the Ten Rings. Pick this up.
I mean, I was almost gonna pick that up this week, but responsibilities.
Oh yeah, I understand. Definitely understand. Um, Next one, I picked this one up. This is a digibook, and this was cool. This was on sale, I think, on Amazon for like $23, and it's the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 on 4K.
Oh, the Raimi collection,
Yeah, so
or
it's
is
the
it the Amazing Spider-Man version?
this is the Amazing
Oh, okay, that's the Andrew
Andrew
Garfield one.
Garfield.
Hmm.
Yeah, so this is book, so that's pretty cool there. The
Oh,
next one I picked
mhm.
up was this was on sale for $44 on Amazon. Doing the cyber, so I grabbed this, the Indiana Jones collection. I was like, you know what? Let me get it because I don't know when the price will come back down again because I think it was like $89 or something like that.
Oh yeah, the collection. Oh,
Yeah. So I was like, grab that. And last but not least, I can tell you right now, I never seen it. I remember it. I was like, man, this is trash. I would not go see this in theater. I would never buy it. But a friend of mine, he said, man, he said, it's a terrible movie, but it's a good movie. So I went on ahead. It was like $22 on Amazon. They released Street Fighter.
oh, rest in peace to Raul Julia. I mean, yeah, because that was
Yeah.
his final role.
Yep, sure was. And man, like I say, I like never watched it. I like the slip cover because it comes out like that. You know what
Oh,
I'm saying?
sweet. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know, because I mean, because like he watched it on demand. I watched it at his place. I mean, I
Because
would never watch it again after that.
hey, look how he got him on the back on the horse.
I mean,
So you know what? I never watched this movie, but after seeing the trailer for it when it first came out, I was like, that's trash. That's not Street Fighter.
no.
So I'll be able to actually sit down and actually see it for the first time.
I mean, the one thing I hate is like Ken and Ryu, they're second banana compared to Guile. I mean, it's all based about him and Bison. I was like, really? Come on.
Oh wow.
It's like, nah, but that's why I prefer Mortal Kombat, like the OG one. When that comes on 4K, you know I'm definitely gonna pick that up. I know you are
Oh
too.
yeah. Oh yeah. I'm definitely picking that up.
Right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. With that being said, since Dirty showed his collection up, and now we're gonna move on to the final presentation, and that is the movie anniversaries. Started with 2001, and Dirty, go ahead and start us off.
All right. Well, I'm gonna start it off with 2001. I'm gonna start it off with Tyrese with Baby Boy.
Oh man.
Yes. One of my favorite movies, man. He was just a a young dude, man, that just seemed to find trouble. Just seems to find him.
Right.
Um, his baby mama. You know what I'm saying? And here comes Snoop. He's getting out of jail. He's moving in with his girlfriend, and it was just
Right.
all type of stuff. His mama wanted him to grow up to be a man of his own.
Right.
I think that his older brother was actually killed, but they never showed it. But it was mentioned in the movie that his older brother was killed.
Mm-hmm.
Out there in the streets. So he just had some growing up to do, and that's why he was called a baby boy.
Right.
The next one I remember is Ali. That was with
Will
I was
Smith.
going to call him Fresh Prince. Yeah, but with Will Smith. He actually did a good job with that movie, man. I remember going to the theaters to actually see, and he did a terrific job with that. As you kept watching the movie, he looked more and more like Ali.
Right.
As he
Trying
was
to
getting
capture his
older.
mannerism. Yeah.
Yeah, as he was getting older, kind of sounding more and more like him. So Will Smith did a really good job with that movie.
Yeah, I
Another
remember the
movie. Oh
like,
no, go ahead.
I was just saying, like, what I remember that is like interaction with him and Malcolm X, like,
Mm-hmm.
because after Malcolm left the Nation of Islam and he had an interaction with Ali, said you should never like left the nation, you should never disrespect Elijah Muhammad,
Yep.
things like that. It's like, wow. But anyway, so continue
I don't
on.
know. My next one is one of my favorite movies. Is Black Hawk Down. That was another good war movie. What was it? Was they in Somalia? Was it
Yep.
Somalia they was
Yep.
in? Yeah,
Yep.
Somalia.
Somalia.
And just a whole epic, shootout towards coming like near the end when they were stuck in the city,
Mm-hmm.
and you had like three of the other guys trying to find their way back to the team
Right.
because they was told to stay here, guard this, don't let anyone come through. And man, it was a good movie. And a lot of chaos in it too.
Right.
hmm Um, another one of my favorite movies is The Enemy, Behind Enemy Lines.
Oh, Enemy at the Gates.
No, Behind Enemy Lines with
Oh yeah, I remember that. Owen Wilson.
yeah. That's another one of my favorite.
Right.
How he was dropped into, kind of no, they got shot down.
Right.
They got shot down, and come to find out, they thought it was just one guy. They surrounded him, killed him, but didn't know that Owen Wilson was actually going up top, to call for help, for radio.
Right.
And I think they heard him because he like kind of screamed or something like that. So they knew it was another person, and they sent out their best to go hunt him down. I was like, man, this is cool. It keeps you a little bit on the edge of your seat, but man, that's one of my favorite movies.
Right.
Last but not least, another good movie is Pearl Harbor. The one with
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck. That was another one of the good movies that I like. But also they redid it, but they called it Midway. For anybody,
Midway. Midway. I loved it a lot better than Pearl Harbor. But like,
yeah, Pearl Harbor was more of like a love story. Was thrown in, But for back then, I thought it was pretty cool just to see what happened in Pearl Harbor with a Japanese attacking in Hawaii.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was another one. And that's it from 01.
All right. I'll go ahead and start mine off. Like, since you already mentioned those, like, because again, by interpretation of it, like, of course, none of us didn't want to see a naked Ving Rhames in the kitchen and stuff like. I was like, I don't want to see all that. it was cool. He came up behind Jody and he's just choking him out. It's like, you look here, man. He's like, grow up, baby boy. It's like, but what tripped me out is like Omar Gooding is Sweet Pea.
Yes. You know what? I forgot that was his name in the movie Sweet Pea. I forgot about that.
Yeah, because like his older brother Cuba was in Boys in the Hood. So you know what? Hey, get the younger brother. Because of course, by the way, Omar and we're birthday twins. Just to let you know. Yeah.
Cool.
So anyway, yeah. I mean, what tripped me out was like the scene, like I think when Jody got beat up by those guys. So basically, Sweet Pea came up to him and was like, I was like, hey, stand right here. And they're like, now, you got to stand here right this. Line them up. And he went, whop. He was in there tearing them up. Oh, man, I was rolling. And of course, like towards the end, he got baptized. So basically he got saved.
Yeah, he did get saved. And another, when you mentioned him, he told him to line them up. Everyone flinched except the last guy.
Right.
So he said, you know what? I ain't gonna knock you out, but I'm gonna whoop your ass. He took his belt off. That I like that.
That was a good one. All right, my second one, of course, you already mentioned that, is of course Black Hawk Down. I mean, like the city you're talking about is Mogadishu. That's the capital city. I mean, yeah, it was intense. Like, everybody was sweating bullets, like trying to survive in there. It was like, one of the guys like fell from the chopper, fell down. He got injured. I was like, dang. He's like, what a worst time. You getting dropped down to the drop zone, you get injured. Things like that.
Even the guy in the helicopter that was stranded, they surrounded him. You know what I'm saying? And he wound up dying under their hands. You know what I'm saying? Trying to keep himself alive with just a pistol.
Exactly. But I mean, I never get this movie from my dad. I got that for him, I think his birthday when it came on DVD. So we sat there and watched it a little bit. I was like, man, this is really intense. And of course, we had like the home theater set up. It was like, I was like, man, this is amazing.
Nice.
I was like, yeah, I need to pick that up for 4K. But even though I got the Blu-ray versions, like I just want the updated visuals and things like that.
Oh yeah, it actually looks nice in 4K. You still have the little grainage in it, but it still looks nice.
Yeah, I mean the Blu-ray version is the same way. It's like the way it presents itself.
Mm-hmm.
All right, my next one, since number 3, is Training Day.
Oh yeah,
with Denzel, because this is the movie he finally won the big one. It's like for me, I'd rather him won it from Malcolm X and things like that because he portrayed a real person. But
yeah, he did.
But I mean, not knocking him off what he did. This one's like, hey, it's like one of his best villain roles and things like that. But I mean, he's played villains before.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just a little trivia fact: Denzel had a small part in Death Wish back in the 70s.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, that was his debut.
Oh wow, didn't know that.
Yeah. So, yeah, like for Training Day, I was like the way he played Lonzo. I mean, he said to bring the rookie along, all his like incidents. Like, I was like the way he got to the Latino guys. Like he said they stole their money and ran, and those dudes beat him up. I was like, oh man, we got killed. I was like, hey, I got a little girl. I was like, I didn't know that girl was your sister. I was like, I saved her from these guys. Like, so basically, one of the guys, like, he called her up. It's like, I said, hey, where were you at? And blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, I was here and there, but yeah, this white guy saved me. Like he was sitting there beating their asses and all that. So basically, yeah, she vouched for him. I was like, I was all right. Yeah, you find Lonzo right there. There is his like him or girl naked on the bed. It's like, oh man. Yeah, like I mean, it was cool. You got Dre. Dr. Dre had a little small part, and of course Snoop got a little cameo in there too.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like towards the end, it's like yeah, like that guy in the wheelchair. How do you think he got there? And of course he gave one of the best lines towards the end. It's like King Kong, don't got shit on me.
Yeah.
But up until he got gunned down by those Russians, I was like, well, that was a wrap.
Yep.
So. All right, my next one is Exit Wounds. Steven Seagal and DMX, teamed up.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I know it was kind of funny, like seeing Stephen Seagal as a traffic cop. He's out there like doing this, all these hand motions, and things like that. And of course, like him and DMX had that little skirmish out there in the back alley somewhere. Like I was like, wow. I was like, DMX started turning himself into a star here, like because you know he
Yeah,
had that. Of course, the year before was like Romeo Must Die, so,
yeah,
and that was a cool one.
yeah. If he just would have stayed off them, off them
The
drugs,
drug
man,
and
he
stop
could have,
getting arrested. And, yeah,
yeah, he could have transitioned from, from rap to, what I'm saying, to movie roles,
exactly. I know it's kind of hard, like battling your demons, but but still,
Yeah.
yeah, pretty sure what he did, like in the music and on the small and big screen. Yeah, but and of course my final one is Ocean's 11, the remake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I caught this on TV and I was like, all right, yeah, this is pretty cool. And of
Hmm.
course, then I remember years later on ANC, I saw the originals Ocean 11, with the Rat Pack, with Fred, Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., Dean Martin,
Oh,
just to name a few.
yeah. And I never seen the original though.
Yeah, you had to check it out sometime. But as far as a remake go, it's great. Like
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
well
the
cast.
remake of it, yeah, I enjoyed the remake, but now I'm gonna check out the original.
Yeah, I didn't care for Ocean's 12. That one bored me to death. Like, I mean, I had a friend out in LA. She sent me a copy of it. I was like, because then I didn't spend no money in the theater. I was like, man, it
Right.
bored me to death. I almost fell asleep on it. But I mean, Ocean's 13 was okay. I was like, I mean,
I
kid you not,
never
I was mhm,
I never seen 13. Only seen 11 and 12.
right. I mean, but the funny thing is, I was in your hometown and there was a premiere out there.
Oh,
That it was
okay.
fun. Yeah, it was funny enough. Like my sister-in-law, she wanted to see Matt Damon because she's a big fan of his.
Hmm.
My brother looked at it, I was like, he shook his head. Like, oh man. But then of course, there was Ocean's 8. Of course, I saw that on of course on streaming because I figured it was gonna be. I mean, to me, it's like one of those guilty pleasures, like seeing like the sister of Danny Ocean. She's doing the same thing like her brothers do. Of course, she has like an all female crew, just like Danny had like all his guys. But of course, Danny had his wife help him out a little bit and things
Right.
like that. And then you had like two of the guys like from the trilogy that pop in here and there, like like their little spots here and there. But I mean, it did its thing, But but seeing Rihanna as a hacker, that tripped me out.
Oh, wow.
Hey, what up, Kano?
Hey, what's up, Kano?
Yeah, Kano in the buildings. That's all right. Yeah, so that pretty much wraps up 2001, and now we're going to move on to 2006. And of course, I'm gonna start this off like I didn't get to see this in the theater. I waited till it hit DVD, and that is ATL.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah, because Big Boy from Outkast, Ti. Of course, he's the main guy. Lauren London. I mean, she was great in that one. I
Hmm.
mean, but yeah, because like it was like a small film. Like it's like one of those sleepers and stuff like that. I mean, I enjoyed it. It's like, and of course, I didn't know that guy, like the Ti's little brother, that's Diana Ross's son in real life.
Yeah.
So
And I think he's married to
Ashton
Ashton
Simpson.
Simpson. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, because I mean, yeah, but right now there's gonna be a sequel to it. That's like, dang, you waited this many years to churn out a sequel? Like,
Yeah, that's way too long. Way too long. But
I was like, I hope it's great, and and come up with some good material, things
I
like
just
that.
like when when Big Boy used to see him call Little Big Brother.
Right. I knew at that time he came up and freaked him out. He spilled his milkshake. I was like,
Man.
oh man, that was funny. But all right, my next one is Silent Hill. I thought it was
Good one.
because I like the original game on the PlayStation, and the first movie was great. As far as the
Yeah.
follow up, I didn't care for, but again, it was like a sleeper. It was like, this is really slept on. This is really good and stuff like that. Like, I did have the DVD at the time, but then later on, I saw it on Blu-ray. I picked it up. I was like, I had to watch this again. This was great. This is how you like, before horror movies started going downhill. But this one, kept it right there. It was just great. Have you had a chance to see it or saw it years ago?
The only one I seen was the original one. The sequels, I never seen any of the sequels.
Don't bother with the sequels. They're no
Okay.
good. My next one is Inside Man. Because it's Spike Lee. Yeah, it's about the bank robbery. You know.
Okay.
Yeah, Denzel. He's like the guy's trying to stop him, like almost like the negotiator, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah, it's like Spike Lee. He's trying to mix up his genres, things like that.
Oh, okay.
It was another good one. I mean, it was cool, like seeing Denzel with that pencil mustache. It was like, all right, it's like tell us like Easy Rollins, like from Devil in a Blue Dress. That's a good one. My next one is Casino Royale. This is because I've never seen this in the theater that opening weekend. I mean, like I said, his first outing as Bond. I mean, he had Les Gadget. I mean, he just now got his 007 status. He starts making mistakes, like,
mm-hmm.
and like when he got Le Chiffre, he started having like this gambling addiction. I was like, I said, nope, I gotta catch you off. And then like when they caught him, I was like, Le Chiffre sitting there beating his balls with that thing. I was like, ooh, like he's sitting there laughing and taking it like a champ. I was like, yeah, but did you have a chance to see that one?
Yeah, I seen Casino Royale, but man, I only seen it that one time when it first came out. So my remembrance is like here and there with the movie.
Right.
I definitely got to pick up the Daniel Craig collection though.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because speaking with like the latest one, No Time to Die, it'd be out on the 21st.
Yeah, I already got it pre-ordered.
Right. Good deal. And of course, my final one to close, from my list of 06 is Glory Road.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh, basically, it's about like 5 black players. Like, it's a college in El Paso, Texas. It was called Texas Western at that time, but it's before or later. It's UTEP now, University of Texas at El Paso. So basically, it's about like this coach Haskins. He recruits these 5 guys, like first time in college basketball history. You have like all your starters are black players.
Mm-hmm.
It shows them like building their way up, like leading their way up to face Kentucky in the finals for the national title, and then of course they upset Kentucky that year back in '66. I mean, it was a good thing. And the thing is, like Pat Riley, he's a Laker legend. Of course, he was on that Kentucky team back at that time, like led by Adolph Rupp. John Boyd. I mean, John Boyd did a good job, like portraying Rupp. I mean, just the looks, his mannerisms. That's great. Definitely a good movie. All right, now the ball is in your court.
All right. For my picks for 06 is well, you already mentioned ATL.
Right.
But I'm gonna go with 300.
Oh.
Yeah, man. I remember seeing that in theaters.
Me too.
And I think it was Zack Snyder. That's the first time I ever heard of his name.
Me too.
Zack Snyder. And I was like, man, I'm like, his camera angles, his shots were just amazing. You know what I'm saying? And then to watch the movie, and it didn't really have color to it. You know what I'm saying? It was almost like that gloomy color. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because it's like Frank Miller's comic book of the same name. It was like he's trying to emulate that style, like the way Frank did it with the comic, just trying to bring it to life.
Yeah, but he did a good job. He did a hell of a job with it. Just to see, you know what I'm saying? He just took 300 of his men because I think the oracles were saying that, don't go into battle, you know what I'm saying, because you are going to die. So he was like, look, I'm taking 300 of the men, and we're going to do what we got to do. And they actually was just whooping ass as they was running into, different enemies. But when they got to Xerxes, you know what I'm saying, it was he got them. He got them, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, that was one hell of a movie.
Oh man, because I remember like it was like me, a friend of mine and his brother. We went to go see it like opening night. The theater was packed. I mean, we went to the Regal Cinemark, the Regal Theater in Lexington, it was like people were sitting in the aisleways. There was no seats everywhere. People was like determined to go see it. It's like,
Wow.
I mean, it's like it was a good thing we got there early. It was like we got some seats. Everybody was like in the aisleways, like people were just sitting there chilling and like during some of the epic battle scenes, like everyone's like, yeah, yeah.
Yep.
I
Some
mean, like,
very epic battle scenes in it.
I mean, yeah, because I got both of them on Blu-ray and 4K respectively. Like the Blu-ray
Yeah.
version is like the one of the special editions has like a little booklet in there.
That's the one I got.
Yeah, it got that nice glossy cover. Shows like Leonidas on there with his helmet.
Mm-hmm.
Gerard Butler, man, that was great. But I know because I mean I understand why he didn't want to do the sequel, but the sequel was okay. I mean, it did its thing.
Yeah. Yeah, the sequel. Like you said, the sequel was okay. I did like the female villain in it though.
Yeah,
I did like her. She was vicious.
I mean, yeah, because like that's old girl from Casino Royale. She portrayed Vesper.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, man, she was like definitely like, she got abandoned by the Greeks, so she went to the Persians. Like she got trained. She just wanted to get revenge, but after that, she was so confused with revenge. Like, yeah, she didn't bother listening to Xerxes. Like, disobeyed his orders, and like she just was like, I don't care about you. I'm gonna kill many of these guys as I can.
Yes.
It's like, yeah, because like the only one to return from the first one, other than Xerxes, was basically Queen Gorgo, like Leonidas' wife. Like the guy went there and said, "Hey, I need some of your men and stuff like that." It's like she just kind of gave him that look. It's like, but she's trying to defend her husband's honor and things like that. So I mean, yeah, but it turned out good at the end. So
yep.
All right.
Next movie I remember. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good back then. I haven't seen it since, and that was Poseidon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I want to say it was it Kurt Russell that was that in it?
Yeah, that was Kurt Russell. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kurt Russell on this big ass cruise ship, nice cruise ship, and a tsunami.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at night a tsunami was coming, and that was it. But the sad part about it, man, was the guys that was doing the entertainment on stage.
Right.
When they heard what was happening, you know what I'm saying? He called his son that he haven't spoke to in like years, to tell him, that he love him and, and he's sorry about, whatever, they was going through. And just before he could say it, man, the tsunami hit. The tsunami hit his son's home because I think his son was like married to a Japanese woman, if I'm not mistaken, and a daughter, and it wound up hitting them. So he basically, lost, contact with him, and before you know it, man, here come that big ass wave, man, and they hit that boat and knocked that boat over to the side, and man, it was crazy. And you know how everything was just hectic, everything being thrown around and sliding all over the place, and people screaming and hurt, and yeah, that was one of the saddest parts, man. I was like, damn. And I think the other guy, the black the black gentleman, I don't even think he had a chance to call his family. Yeah, he didn't even get a chance to call his family, man. I was like, damn, that got to be rough, man. Knowing that you might not survive this on the ocean sea, and you can't even call your loved one, to tell them like, hey, I'm sorry for whatever we was going through for all these years, but I just want to say, I love you, and I might not see you again.
Right. But you got to remember, like the Poseidon Adventure, that's a remake because like what you saw was the remake of the original.
Oh, okay. So, it was a original. Okay. I never seen the original.
I've seen clips of these bits and pieces of the original, but I just never seen that ship upside down and people going crazy. I was like, oh man.
Yeah. Next one. I actually like this movie, and a lot of people they kind of threw it off because it was subtitled, and that's Apocalypto.
Oh yes, I mean that was great.
Yeah, man, that was an excellent. And you know what? That was like a blind for me. Like I remember the trailer, and something was like, buy it because I didn't see it in theaters, and someone was like,
Right.
buy it,
Yeah, I didn't get to see it in theaters either.
because I'm like, you seen the trailer, and the trailer looked good. And I brought it on the whim on Blu-ray, and you can't even find it on Blu-ray anymore. It's out of print on Blu-ray.
Wow.
Yeah, so I still have my copy, but just for from the little bit I could remember of they getting invaded by this other tribe.
Right.
And he had to put his wife down in like a deep well because they was coming, they was killing men, women, and children, so everybody's running around and trying to get away. So he was like, all right, I'm not going to let them kill her and my unborn child. So he put her down in the well. He told her, look, I'll be back. So they wind up trying to, they capture some of his tribe people, and he's watching on what they doing. So they hunting him down in the like the rainforest or something like that they was in, and it was just crazy. It was a crazy movie, but it was actually good because they was actually sacrificing those people, man. And I was like, damn, like how you sacrifice somebody like that? Like
They don't care.
yeah, just had them laid out and cut their chest open and taking out their heart and shit. I was like, damn.
Yeah, trying to sacrifice to some pagan gods.
Yeah, like somebody, y'all need a TV to see what's going on.
Right. Yeah, but not in that area. It's like, yeah, what's that?
Right. And the last but not least, is Cars.
Disney's.
Yes, Disney's Cars, man. I thought that was one of the fun movies, man. I think Disney Pixar did it. You had Maynard, that the country one. They had to make the,
Larry the Cable Guy.
Yes, man. And then they also had the sheriff. I forgot what type of car he was, but he was like one of them luxury cars.
Right.
He was pretty cool. But yeah, the whole movie was, to me, was actually fun. You know what I'm saying? That was a cool movie that Disney did, just to see, different cars, and they was talking, and he always wanted to be I forgot his name in the movie.
Lightning McQueen.
Yeah, Lightning McQueen. And he was a racer until something happened. What did they took a back road or something? And
yeah, like he fell out. He was like in this desert town, like Route 66. Like you know where he was at.
Yes, that was a good movie, man. I enjoyed that. Now those I definitely want to pick up in 4K. I think they have all three in 4K, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, out of the three, I enjoyed the first one the best. Two was okay.
I seen one and two. I'd never seen the third one.
I saw the third one on Netflix. I mean, it was like, it was all right.
Oh, okay.
I mean, because you got to think about what the first one, because Paul Newman, he was the legendary Doc Hudson. So he's the one that taught Lightning like all those tricks, all he knew.
Yeah.
So basically, like, Hudson, he was basically like the mentor of the Lightning. He's trying to get him humble because Lightning McQueen, he was just arrogant and self-centered.
Yep.
And of course, like I said, I enjoyed that, especially with my nephew and my godson. They both love it. Like, I never like buying them the toys like for their birthdays and Christmas. And then when they both came over, it was like a year later. I had it at the time. I had it on Blu-ray, and we sat there and watched it. It was like, it was a good movie. I don't mind picking it up again on 4K.
Yeah,
because I'm sure it looks amazing on there. All right, so I guess that concludes 06, and now, of course, you're going to start out with 2011.
All right, 2011.
I'm not sure we're going to have the same ones on this one.
Yeah, we might have the same one, but I'm gonna throw this one out because I was happy at first, but when I seen it, I thought it was just okay when I went to the theaters, and that is Green Lantern.
I saw it in the theaters also.
Yeah, I thought it was an okay movie. I brought it when it came to Blu-ray, and it was okay. It wasn't the best from DC, you know what I'm saying? But just to see Green Lantern on the big screen and, doing, some of his, powers, the powers that the Ring had and everything that he was doing in the movie was cool. What I didn't care too much for was the villain.
Oh, Hector.
Yeah, dude with the big ass head. His head kept growing and shit.
Right.
That's all. That's the only character I didn't really care too much for. I know he was like that in the comic book, but
Right.
he just didn't look right in
No.
real life. It really just didn't do it. But other than that, man, I thought the movie was okay. I would like for them to reboot it.
Yeah, me too. But, I mean, like you, I bought on Blu-ray. Like, I bought the special edition. It came with like a knit cap and a little toy ring, and like that thing couldn't even fit me. I was like, but I think I'll probably still have that hat somewhere. But I mean, I never see like I enjoyed the special effects on there. But yeah, like you, I didn't care for the main villains. Like, why didn't you just use Sinestro? This movie would have made a lot of money.
And they showed him at the end.
Right.
They showed the man at the end. I was like, okay, he could have been, fighting him, but I'm like, it is what it is.
I mean, yeah, he started off as a Green Lantern, then he went up on his own. It's like you should have just used Sinestro, but you didn't do it. You had to use like one of his lame villains that no one's ever heard of.
Right. Because he was his color was what, yellow?
Yellow, yeah. Tear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, because Ryan Reynolds, he hated his experience on Green Lantern. Of course, you saw that at the end, towards the end of Deadpool 2.
Yes.
They showed he popped right behind himself and shot himself in the head, and there was blood splatter on the script.
Yes. Let me see. Next movie, XMen First Class.
All right.
Seeing this, I was kind of glad that they went to like reboot it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I never cared about the other three original X-Men movies.
Well, the only one of the three I cared about was X2. That was the best of the three. The other two,
Yeah, the X2 was cool. I think what made it cool because what's his name was in it?
What, Nightcrawler?
Nightcrawler. And the movie started off cold as hell with Nightcrawler when I went to the movies to see it.
Me too.
So yeah. But as for like one, especially 3 was just horrible.
3 was trash.
I was like, come on, what are y'all doing to the X-Men? But just to see them kind of reboot it and do first class and actually see Xavier, what I'm saying, before he got his powers, and
meet Magneto for the first time.
Yeah, meeting Magneto and stuff like that. I thought that was pretty cool. Beast. I thought that was pretty cool on what and how they did it. I still didn't like how they portrayed Mystique. Well, how she looked. I didn't care for that look. I'm like, they could have kept it, like the comic book with the, with the red hair and the blue skin with the white skirt on, with the splits up the side, like kind of like almost like Chun-Li.
Yeah, just like in the comics.
I'm like, why they ain't do? I'm like, why she gotta have scales and everything like that? But I think I kind of understand where they was going in the movie when they did that, because since she's a shapeshifter, it make her scales, her scales will move or flip. So it's like she's changing into something else, which I get, but still. But yeah, I enjoyed all the first class. I think it was like 3 of them, if I'm not mistaken.
Dark Phoenix, I hated Dark Phoenix.
Nah.
That's like a terrible.
That movie had so much potential, but it just went. No, you know what? Wait a minute. I think I would take Dark Phoenix over Apocalypse any day. Apocalypse was just trash. I did not like that.
I pretty much like Apocalypse more than Dark Phoenix.
Really?
Yeah.
Why I didn't like Apocalypse was because they cast the wrong guy for him to play him. Dude was the same height as Storm.
Right.
Like, you know how tall Apocalypse was, man?
Right. I mean, Apocalypse, he can change his size like anytime he wants.
Yeah, he could change his size, but I'm like, I don't know. He just didn't look right at that height. I just didn't care too much for it.
I mean, yeah, you could have got a taller actor, like.
But you know what they could have did? They could have made him, taller if they wanted to by special effects. You know what I'm saying? They did it. Hell, look at the Hobbits. Right. The Hobbits are small compared to the rest of them, but they all the same height. But they in the movie they made them look like they was actually, you know, damn near by the, stomach, you know.
Right.
Yeah. So they could have did it, but
Right.
Next movie is Sucker Punch.
Well, Zack Snyder.
Yep. And I didn't know that was Zack Snyder. Then I found out it was him. I was like, okay, I'm kind of liking this dude, Zack Snyder. He's
Right.
bringing out, some nice movies. Now I know a lot of people didn't care too much for it. I liked it. The women in it was sexy as hell. You know what I'm saying? When they go into the story mode,
Yeah,
how they was fighting this big ass samurai. To when they was like in damn near like World War II, and it was cool, just using her imagination, you know what I'm saying, as a way to whatever plan they had going, you didn't see them actually do the plan. You know what I'm saying? It went into like a story in her head. So whatever plans they was doing to get the key, get the map, it was showing out in a different scenario than what you would actually see them do, and I thought that was pretty cool, but a lot of people didn't like that.
Right.
Let me see what else I had on here. I think the last one was Rise Planet of the Apes.
Oh yeah.
Excellent movie.
Oh, Andy Serkis was great as Caesar.
Man, I enjoyed that movie from beginning to end. And I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait for it to come on Blu-ray so I could have a copy of it. And
because like Rise of the Planet of the Apes plus War of the Planet of the Apes. Oh man.
Yes, very good movie. All three movies I enjoy. I got them. I got the box set on 4K. So yeah, any of the Planet of the Apes is good with me, and this is no exception. So those are my top 5 right there for 2011.
All right, my picks for 2011. Of course, I'm going to start off with a comedy, and that is Bridesmaids.
Okay.
So basically, this is the female version of The Hangover.
Oh man. Okay.
I mean, I laugh like you have Maya Rudolph, Melissa McCarthy, Rose Byrne, just to name a few. I was like, oh man, like the stuff, like just the antics they all got into. I was like, oh my goodness, like. Because The Hangover was a big hit with the guys, so I figured it's like, hey, the ladies got to have one too. But it's one of those guilty pleasures. I mean, the cast. I mean, enjoyed the cast. Like they look great. What they done in there. I mean, like I said, Melissa McCarthy. This is where she started to take off. Like being in her career. Maya Rudolph. Everybody knows her from SNL. I mean, it's like I said. Like I think Kristen Wiig was in it. Was like. I mean, it was amazing that she could do comedy and like action, like or drama. Like the way she portrayed Cheetah in Wonder Woman '84.
Yeah,
I give it to her. She pulled it off. Like, but I know comedy's her stick. That's just great.
Nice.
All right. My next one is, of course, I saw this at the theater on opening night. One of my first midnight shows, and that is Thor. I know not many people didn't like the first Thor, but for me, I enjoyed it because, like, you got to remember, this is the origin story. Like how the story, how Thor and Loki, like, before they thought, I mean, they're always been at each other, even when they were kids and stuff like that. So, I mean, Kenneth Branagh, I give him credit. Like, I mean, like, everyone was well cast. Like, of course, there were some fanboys out there. They were pissed about, Idris Elba's Heimdall. Like, as a dude, it's a comic book. He can get away with it. Chill.
Hey, Sinister, you could keep going. I just got to step away for a quick second. I'll be right back.
All right. It's like, yeah, like, as he steps away, but I mean, Thor from beginning to end, I mean, it was just great. Like, Chris Hemsworth, like, not many people heard about him up until now. I mean, he did his thing. Of course, Natalie Portman, being his love interest, Jane. I mean, yeah, it was just great. Like the way they picked from the comic book, different sources from the books, like like with Thor interacting with his father. You see Thor being, arrogant and brash, battle heavy because, like I said, Thor, like he always likes to fight. That's all he cares about. Up until his dad, like, you know, he's sitting there fighting the frost giant. His dad had to intervene. It's like, so boy, he's like, you getting too big for your britches. Like, so now basically he started to punish us. Like, yeah, it's like, you know what? I'm gonna punish you. It's like, first thing I'm gonna do, take away your powers, take away your armor. I'm gonna take your favorite weapon away and cast you out of Asgard. Crash down on Earth. Take that hammer, throw enchantment on it. You know, throw it through the portal too. It's like, so basically he had to re-earn the hammer. So yeah, so you know what he got on Earth. He met with Jane. So basically that's how you had to teach him, you know, humility. But of course, in the back at home, this is where Loki started learning about the truth about his heritage. And he confronted his father about it. It's like, what did you tell me? It's like, you're not my real father. You know, it's like, tell me. And then Odin fell into his Odin sleep. So basically, he was defenseless. Like, so now Loki's taking over. He figures, like, well, he's the god of mission for a reason. So basically, he goes down to Earth, tells Thor, it's like, you can't come back home. Father's dead. You have no reason to come back home. So basically, he takes over. Leaves the frost giants in there. And of course, they got the best weapon of all, the destroyer. But it wasn't enough. So basically, Thor, he sees, you know, where the hammer's located, goes in there, takes up a bunch of shield guys, gets to the hammer, unable to lift it because he's not worthy enough. And so basically, Hawkeye was right there. This was his debut. He was ready to pick him off. Oh, there you are. Oh, so yeah, like to wrap things up with Thor. I mean, yeah, it's like, you know, how everything, it's like, you know, the chemistry between father and son, because, you know, like I said, Odin had to teach Thor less about humility and stuff like that. So he, like I said, he stripped him of his armor, his enchanted his weapon, so make sure only those who were worthy enough to wield it.
Right.
He almost got picked up by Hawkeye, but because like Thor's, like, he was in there like trying all his might to lift the hammer off the ground, but he couldn't do it. It's like, you know, it just wasn't his time yet. So, you know, fast forward later on, like Loki, you know, like I said, being Loki, being mischievous. I said, you know what? I still can't stand Thor. It's like, he's still a nuisance. And you know what? He sent the destroyer down there trying to take him out. Thor almost died. I was like, dang. It's like, you know, he thought he talked down his brother. Like, the destroyer was about to walk up. You know what? Then he's like, wham! Gave a good old backhand. I was like, he sent him flying back. Yeah, and then it was, of course, you know, his daddy had to help him. It's like, you know what? All right, boy, I think you learned your lessons. Like,
right.
So basically, he calls, you know, Mjolnir, gets back, heals up, back in the fight, destroys Mjolnir, goes back and starts beating Loki's ass. Like, I mean, it was great. But, oh, yeah, that was my pick. And, of course, like his follow-up, his Avengers teammate, Captain America, the First Avenger. But, boy, and I saw this. We saw the 3D version of it in the theaters. It was great. Like, you know, seeing Cap on the, you know, finally a Captain America movie that's done right, because I've seen the 70s version, cheesy. I saw the one in the 90s. It was a little bit better because, you know, it had him and Red Skull, but story-wise, it just still wasn't there yet. So now they finally got this right. You know, went back to World War II. You know, him and the Skull were fighting over the Tesseract. I mean, yeah, it was Chris Evans, like the way the special effects, and you know, it showed him like short and skinny and like getting his ass. It's like, oh, I could do this all day. Then next thing is he gets injected with the serum, gets all buffed up.
Yeah,
ready to kick some Nazi ass. Things like that.
Now, you know what I would like to see. And I doubt Marvel would do it, but I would like to see a story of the Red Guardian.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would
probably on Disney Plus they will do it.
Yeah, like if they did it on Disney Plus, I'd be cool with that. You know what I'm saying? But you know, just for seeing Black Widow and how he was, you know, how he kept saying, you know, I was the first and I'm better than Captain America and blah blah skip. I'm like, you know what? I would like to see a movie of the Red Guardian. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, how his beginnings and stuff like that, how he got up to his, you know, guys that treatment that they got. So hey, Russia's version of Captain America.
Yeah.
Right. And of course with just to wrap things up with Thor, like I mean I like how it ended. Like, Thor had that talk with his dad and like it's like, yeah, you finally learned your lesson, and he went back down to Earth to get with be with Jane.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, oh, what are happened with Loki? So well, because with the Marvel movies, they always like to leave things up to other movies, things like that.
Yeah.
But fast forward to Captain America, seeing his interaction. Of course, when he saw Peggy Carter, it's like he had to get with her. Like it was fun. Like
Yeah.
all those guys trying to get to the pole so they can get with Peggy. And Steve, he just went up there, it's like grabs the flag, goes to the Jeep, gets with Peggy. I mean, yeah, it was funny, but I mean, up until he got encased in eyes, like it's like, yeah, sorry, Peggy, I wasn't able to get that dance with you. I was like, oh man, kind of broke our
Yeah.
hearts. And then fast forward, he's in the present day, and like Nick Fury wakes him up, I was like, hey, welcome to the present, Captain America. Yeah, once you join the Avengers, it's like he just kind of looked like, huh?
Right.
Let's see, that was pick up my. Oh yeah, and of course this one also sold in the theater, and that is Battle Los Angeles.
Ooh, yes. I love that movie.
I mean, yeah, because like, I mean, there was another one. It was like a cheesy version. It's called the Battle of L.A. And it's like, I was like, yeah, it was cheesy. It had like Kel from Keenan and Kel, and it was like, nah. I was like,
Oh no.
no, but no, but this one is like, this was like cool from beginning to end. Like, like all these Burger Marines taking out these aliens, like trying to save L.A. I mean, it was great from beginning to end. I mean, I really enjoyed it. And
Yeah,
of course,
that's one of my favorite movies I have on Blu-ray. And I like how he was damn near like a loner,
right.
and like nobody trusted him because they was like, oh, he got his squad killed, like, he left
Mm,
them to die, he the only one survived. And and it wasn't like that, what I'm saying.
right.
Like, he just got fed up with it, and just had to explain, like, I know one of the guys that was helping him,
Right.
his brother was on his squad, and
Right.
he remember his brother's, ID tag number,
Right.
what I'm saying. He remember all they tag numbers, what I'm saying. And that's how they was like, okay, this guy is not out to, get us killed and,
Right.
be the last one, standing, what I'm
Right.
saying. So after they seen that, they was with him they was behind him 100%,
Right.
which was cool.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. And of course, my final pick, of course, you already mentioned that's X-Men First Class. That just add a
Yeah.
little on to it. Like Kevin Bacon, yeah, he was great as Sebastian Shaw. Like he met with a young Magneto before he became Magneto. Like
Hmm.
I was like, Eric, he was like blah blah blah. And then of course he saw what's her name? Emma Frost, like like her diamond form and the way
Yes.
Magneto always trying to choke her, you almost saw like the diamond part crack. I was like, dang, he's really gonna
Hmm.
crack her neck.
Yeah.
And of course, the funny part is like, they're trying to assemble the team. Of course, they're in a Wolverine. Is like fuck off.
Right.
Oh, that was just oh man, that was awesome. And of course, Lenny Kravitz's daughter, she was in there. Of course, she was like that butterfly mutant. I forgot her name, but
Oh, that
then
was
of
his
course,
daughter? Oh,
hmm
I didn't know that.
yeah.
Hmm.
Then of
Okay.
course, then you saw Nightcrawler's daddy in there, Azazel. I was like,
Okay.
after I saw him teleport, it's like that's gotta be Nightcrawler's daddy. Yeah, like
Okay.
this is like before him and Mystique got it on and came
Right.
Nightcrawler. Yeah, and then of course, like you saw towards the end, like, how Charles got landed in the wheelchair, like a bullet hit him in the spine. Like you told
Yeah.
Mystique, it's like yeah, you told Mystique, yeah, just go with him, go with Eric, and they did their thing. Then the sequel, like Days of Future Past, oh amazing! Like out of the four movies, that was my favorite, followed by the First Class. Then
Yeah.
of course for me, Apocalypse, and like I said, Phoenix got it at the bottom. I mean, I like the dude that played Bishop, even though he was only in there for a few minutes, but still, that it's cool,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, he was in there for like what, good two minutes, if that.
Yeah, then you saw Blink, teleporting around. They got all those Sentinels coming after him. I mean, which was really cool. But yeah, but Yeah, that's 2011, and of course now we're on to 2016, the final one, and of course I'm gonna start this off. And since I mentioned Captain America, the first Avenger, then this is the third movie out of the trilogy, and that is Civil War. Everybody
Yes.
remembers that one.
Mm-hmm.
But our friend and I, we enjoyed it. Like we saw it in 3D. You know,
Yes.
it was great. You know, we saw it. I mean, yeah, because they got everybody together. Like, you know, after the events, what happened in Age of Ultron. Now they come up with this Sokovia Accord. You know, like this registration, and of course Steve wasn't feeling that. It's like, nah,
Right.
not cool. And at the same time, he had to go save Bucky because after Black Panther's daddy got killed, you know, you see Black Panther for the first time, and like I said, rest in peace to Chadwick Boseman. I mean,
Yes.
he
Rest
played
in
that
peace.
part perfectly. You know, like, oh yeah, like before I move on, I mean, to me, I think Disney Plus should do something like with T'Chaka, like you know, Black Panther's father, like show like you know because that was the actor's son that portrayed his younger version at the beginning of Black Panther. So it
Right.
kind of movies like, hey, like him and his brother, like show him how they were like back then, like how he became the Black Panther during that time. Of course, lead up to the Black Panther movie or the Civil War one
Yeah.
because that would
Yeah,
be
that'd be
great.
cool.
You know, like show how they all met. You know, show T'Challa as a baby. You know how he met his wife. You know, etc. etc. But anywho, I mean, like to me, I like the interaction like with the Dora Milaje and of course with Black Widow. Like one of them came up to her, is like he's just like move or be moved. That's like just she's just like to the point. As I just like to speak to your king for a minute, you know.
Right.
Of course, like you know the epic battle, you know, like Captain America's side, you know, it was him, Scarlet Witch. Who
Mm-hmm.
else?
Vision,
Yeah, Vision, Giant Man, or Ant Man.
Ant-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Who else was
Oh, Falcon.
Falcon. And I
Yeah,
think I think that's it. Because I think
yeah,
I wanted to say War Machine, but I think War Machine was on Iron Man's
yeah. It's
team.
Iron Man. Yeah, yeah. Iron Man, War Machine, Vision, Hawkeye. No, Hawkeye was on
No,
the Cap side.
yeah, Hawkeye was on Cap side. Yeah.
Yeah, Black Panther was on Tony's side.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was just epic. Of course, you know, Spider Man joining the fray.
Yeah.
Now, of course, yeah, the Winter Soldier, he was also on Cap side because you know, Spider Man whipped them both up. It's
Right.
like you did that a little faster. Like, I
I
hate
like
you.
I like when Tony called them out under rules.
You know, he went.
That was
I know,
cool.
like I know everybody like the first time when they saw Spider Man, like the theater was like,
Yes.
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 Yeah, that was. Then of course you saw the epic fight scene towards the end. You know what between Cap and Iron Man, and of course you know Bucky was in there too. They're like
Mm-hmm.
up until then, then Cap just threw down the shield. It's like, you know, it's like that shield doesn't belong to it. It belongs to my father. It's like, you know what?
Take
You
it.
can have it. He's like, you can take it. And of course, Baron Zemo, because you know he kind of did that whole divide and conquer thing because Tony learned the truth that Winter Soldier killed his parents. Like, as he
Mm-hmm.
killed my mom. I was like, and Steve like, blah blah blah. I was like, I don't care. He was gonna get the
Yeah.
Winter Soldier one way or another. I mean, it was great. You know, Cap said that one line like, I was like, I could do this all day, and then of course Zemo he was trying to kill himself, and of course Black Panther came. And it's like, nope, you ain't killing yourself that easy. It's like, nope, you're gonna pay for what you done.
Right.
So yeah, that was cool at the end. You know how he snuck away, and then he broke into that island prison where everybody was at. It's like he's gonna break them all out, and of course that the secret scene it was like Spider Man. It kind of led up to his solo movie. So yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
And of course, speaking of 2016, my next one is another Marvel bit, and that is Deadpool. I mean, seeing it that weekend, I was like, man, Ryan Reynolds, yes, you were meant for
Yes.
this movie. You were meant for this role because I mean, just the quips from beginning to end was great. You know how had became what he is up until he fought what's his name? And of course, and then he had Angel for Gina Carano, and they're like, especially what he did to Colossus, like he ripped her top.
Yeah.
I was like, he was like, oh, and then she's just like, wham in his mouth. I was like, mm. I was like,
You know what? They had the Colossus just. I like how he looked. You know what I'm saying? I'm like they got him down pat. But I didn't care for his like demeanor half of the time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like when he was fighting, what's her
Angel
name,
Fist.
Gina? Yeah,
Gina.
he was like, "Oh, your boob is out." Like, get your ass out of here.
Screw that. Like,
But I did like the chick that he went back and forth with, Deadpool. What was her name? She was like a some type of war.
Oh,
What was she?
Oh, she was like the teenage new kid or something like that.
Yeah, she had a name, but it was kind of like a cool name though. Something like it just sounded dangerous. Her name just sounded dangerous. I'm gonna put it to you like that. And I liked her name though, but I just can't remember exactly what it was. But yeah, she had a dangerous ass name.
I could look it up really quick. And that, let's see. Oh, Negasonic. That's her name.
Yes, Megasonic. Boy, when she lit up, I was like, damn, I'm like, okay, that's her power. Okay. Yeah. Don't mess with her.
I mean, yeah, but it was cool. Like when he cut his hand and stuff like that, cut it off, and then he kind of regrew it. He was around that blind lady. Of course, for those you know, for anybody out there that's seen the original Roots, yes, that is Kizzy. You know, Leslie Uggams. Like,
yeah,
like I was joking. I was like, oh man, Kizzy's blind. But yeah, I mean, she tripped me out. But with that, like interacting with Deadpool. But yeah, it was great. You know, but of course, I love the sequel even more. I mean, seeing Domino and Cable, and you know, of course, you know, fighting the Juggernaut. Like,
yeah, they finally did the Juggernaut right. I'm like, thank you. Wasn't some little muscle dude with a big ass Flintstone helmet on?
I know, like, I know
like,
it doesn't have a British accent either.
Right.
It's like, do you know who I am? I'm the Juggernaut. I was like, what the hell? I was like, this is cheesy.
And I remember me and my ex, we went to go see it, and when he was chasing what's her name through the walls, that she was going through the walls and he was breaking through them.
Oh, that was Shadowcat.
Yeah,
Kitty.
She went in there with the boy was in that all white room, and it's like when he's next to you, you know, you lose your mutant power.
Yeah, Leech. Yeah, that's Leech.
Yeah. So as he come busting through, they move to the side. He knock himself out because he can't go through the wall.
Right.
And I'm like, he's not a mutant.
Right.
Like I said it loud. Like I said it loud, and then I'm like, the Juggernaut is not a mutant.
Right.
And my girlfriend at the time, she was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, he's not a mutant. I'm like, he get his powers from a medallion. He's the Juggernaut.
A ruby. Yeah, it was a ruby that gave him his powers.
Yeah, so I'm like, how does like I don't like this is garbage. I don't like it.
Right. Right. Of course they could, you know, wrap up the superhero movies of that year, and that is Doctor Strange. Now Benedict Cumberbatch, I give him to was like, yeah, he pulled it off, like the look, the mannerism of Doctor Strange, like his interaction with the Ancient One.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, it's cool they had Dormammu in it. I was like, I can't wait for the sequel. I'm sure, hopefully, you know, Mordo's the main villain.
Yeah,
because I saw what he done.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite movies. It looks excellent in 3D. I have it on Blu-ray 3D. But I like how he kept coming to the guy, the villain at the end. How you say his name? How you say the villain's last name? He kept coming
Dormammu.
Yeah, Dormammu.
Yeah.
He kill him. Dormammu.
Right. Yeah, he kept starting it over and over.
Yeah, he was like, "What trickery is this?"
Just keep repeating his death over and over.
Yeah, I died laughing on that. Dormammu.
Right.
But yeah, that's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite Marvel movies is Doctor Strange. He did a really good job on that.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool, like the way he did his Astro Sev. Like he met up with old girls. Like, what the? It's like, hey, don't worry, I'm not dead.
Yes.
You know, he got with her, and then yeah, it was like my cousin we saw in the theater that weekend. I was like, man, that was great. I was gonna take my nephew to see it, but of course, you know, he wasn't a fan with Doctor Strange. So I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna end up picking it up on 4K.
Yeah.
And of course, see, to round this one off, my last one would be Magnificent Seven.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, this one has Denzel in it. He was like the
Yeah.
main guy. I never like the old versions before it, but anyway, like Magnificent Seven, you gotta think of it's based off a Kurosawa movie. You know, the Samurai Seven. That's where the idea came from. Then it translated over here in of course, you know, made it as a western with it had Robert Vaughn, Charles Charles Bronson, just to name a
Mhm.
few. Well, this one, like this new one, it was great. You know, you had Denzel Washington, you had Chris Pratt, Vince. I mean, basically, you know, you got the guy like Malcolm X. Then you got Star Lord. Then you got the Kingpin all in one squad. And like,
Oh wow. I'm gonna have to check that out.
yeah. Then you got the guy that plays Storm Shadow from GI Joe. And of course, you got Ethan Hawke in there. So basically, you know, it's the first time Ethan and Denzel teamed up since you know Training Day. So it, like I said, from beginning to end, the movie was great. Like westerns like that, it sounds great. If you got a soundbar, this is great for special effects. Like, I mean, you will love it. Things like
Mm,
that.
nice.
So that concludes my picks for 2016. What about you?
All right. Well, for my 2016, I got four of them, and number one for me would be 13 Hours.
Uh huh.
I enjoyed that movie. I always call him Jim from The Office.
Right.
Um, but man, he did a terrific job. Him and his squad. They were based. I can't remember what city they was in, but they was in Middle East,
Right.
and they were trying to save the um, was it the prime minister?
I guess like one of the leaders.
It was one of the leaders, and they were trying to save him. But
Right.
he wound up dying. But the the whole gunplay from the middle to the end, oh my god, it was fantastic. If you do have a sound bar or theater system, like you turn this up and people will be ducking outside.
Right. I was like, what
They
the
was on
hell?
man, how they set up on top of the roof
Hmm.
to get the guys, coming in,
Hmm.
coming through the gate, man, it was phenomenal, man. That was a good ass movie. And that to me, that was a blind movie. I went in not knowing that it was based on a true story too, as
Right.
well. Um, and if you guys play Call of Duty,
Right.
Modern Warfare, they
Mhm.
actually played that scene out in
Wow.
in the campaign. Yeah. Yep, they actually played that scene. I was like, oh, I'm like, this is straight from the movie. I'm like, damn,
Right.
that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Right.
So that I actually enjoyed that movie, and I had to pick that up on 4K as well. You can
I
get
may
it
have to
like
pick it
dirt
up
cheap.
myself. Hmm.
Yeah, you can get it dirt cheap at Best Buy
Right.
for I think no more than like maybe 14, 16
Mhm.
bucks or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Yeah,
under $20. That's a
right.
real pick. Yeah, because
Um,
like since you mentioned that, like, oh, before you continue, it kind of reminds me of this other movie I picked up on Blu-ray years ago. That is Act of Valor. It was really cool.
okay. No, I
Yeah,
never seen that one.
yeah, you got to check it out sometime.
Okay.
Right.
Next movie, I would say Passengers, with Chris Pratt and
Uh-huh.
what is
Jennifer
that girl?
Lawrence.
Jennifer Lawrence. Yeah.
Yeah, she's from
Um,
Kentucky, by the way.
oh, she's from Kentucky.
Yeah, Louisville.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, this is I went in not knowing too much about this movie, but
Mhm.
it was actually good just to have basically just half of the movie just Chris Pratt himself just awake. They was looking for a new planet
Uh-huh.
to live on because I think Earth was like dying or something like that. So they was all on this huge ship, and it was set to the course for they new home, but they wasn't going to
Right.
get there until I think maybe like 80 years or something like that. So they was
Right.
actually everybody was actually put in in a chamber, like in a deep sleep, so you wouldn't age.
Right.
Which that sounds pretty cool, but
Right.
but on the way there, they went through an asteroid. And the cool thing about it was, as it was going through, it had like a force shield in the front of it. So, but one of the asteroids actually struck it, was able to hit the ship. It didn't knock it off course, but it woke up Chris Pratt. So he's up, and he noticed that everybody else is asleep, but he noticed Jennifer Lawrence. He noticed her, how gorgeous she was. So he was trying to figure out, how can I wake up? Because he was going to kill himself, because he knew, he was like, I'm not going to make it 80 years from now. I'm going to be dead.
Right.
So the only person that was, well, not person, thing, was a robot, and he was the bartender, basically. Right. And, he kind of talked to him as like he was human, which he actually, answer and talk to you like he was human, but he was just a robot. Right. So he decided he was going to wake up, Jennifer, and sure enough, he did. And he lied to her, and, they basically, after time went on, it was just them two, they started catching feelings for each other, but until she found out the truth, so it was a good movie, a very good movie. Next movie, Split.
Oh man, and Shyamalan.
Yes, he actually did a good job with this movie. His movies are hit and miss.
Oh, James McAvoy.
Yeah,
he was great. Yeah, he was great in Last King of Scotland.
And for this movie, how he just changed into, the people inside his head, like at a split of a second, man, was crazy. And you do have people out here, mental health that's like that, man. Right. And just to see him play that out so well like that, man, it was just freaky, you know what I'm saying? Because there are people, that's mentally ill like that, that have multiple personalities, and he pulled it off very well, man. He pulled that off.
It kind of led like to the sequel between the three, like Mr. Glass, then you had him, then Bruce Willis's character, like they all met up at the same place.
Yes. And my last movie, which is number 4. I didn't have a 5 here. So my last one for number 4 would be 10 Clover Lane.
Okay.
Yeah, the sequel to Cloverfield. Which I thought this was a cool movie. It was you had your father from Roseanne, Dan from Roseanne.
John Goodman.
Yeah, John Goodman. You also had the lady which we thought that he kidnapped. I remember her from Scott Pilgrim, Gemini Man. I don't know her name, but
right.
So basically, he just had them, her and another guy, down in a bunker, which we all know that Cloverfield was about, monster, alien. Right. The first one was like a big ass monster, right? And now you got aliens at this time, which he told her, I saved you because you actually crashed, So he brought her back to the bunker, the underground bunker, and he told them that they couldn't leave, So she wanted to leave, and they came up with a plan to get the key, and I think she hit him with something, kind of stunned him. So she grabbed the keys, and he told her, "Don't open that door." But you could see like what was going on outside that door. It was like some creatures out there. So that was actually pretty cool. That was a good movie. I need to get that on 4K. That's what I need to do. But
yeah, I definitely need the first one on 4K.
Yeah, that too.
All right, everybody, that concludes it. For the finale, and movie anniversaries of 2001, 06, 2011, 2016. And so Dirty and I will be back sometime next year. Got more movie anniversaries. I think we're gonna start back. I will start back to 60, but we just skip ahead to the 70s because basically that's our decade anyway. So we can start there with those anniversaries because you know we'll take it from there. Plus, like movie news, like any movie reviews we saw in the theater, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, for anybody that came into the chat, interacted with us, like we appreciate you coming through. Stay tuned for the next episode next year for season 4. We'll, like I said, we'll be back with all kind of goodies and things like that. So, before we go out, like Dirty, you got anything to say, or if not, you just go ahead and give our intro, your outro. I mean,
Well, well, basically, I thank everybody, for stopping by, checking us out here. Also, everybody have a good holiday, Merry Christmas, with your family, friends. If you do, go check out the Spider-Man that's coming out because I'm there. I'm going
next
to,
week.
yep, going to check it out in 3D. So I'm happy about that. But other than that, yeah, you can catch me on the PlayStation, and the Xbox is Old Dirty 360, which is all caps OLDIRTY 360, and Xbox is the same, all caps OL space DIRTY space 360.
All right. And like I said, this is your boy Sinister. You can follow me on my social medias. Instagram is Sinister1019. Twitter is Conshu19. And of course, you can also follow me on Xbox and PlayStation. On Xbox, it's SYNISTERTARHEEL, all caps with a Y. On PlayStation, it's BodyCat92. Same thing, all caps. And like I said, you can also find me everything on my YouTube channel. Everything will be right there. And like I said, enjoy your day, your week. Like I said, like in advance, happy holidays to you. Enjoy the time with your families, things like that. Like I said, we see y'all in 2022. Peace out, y'all.
Peace.